Well, I'm Matt. And this is
Matt Show.
for what day is it, Patrick? Does it feel like quarantine any longer? I tell you what, Sure enough. Yeah, everything seems to be open. Anyways. Well, thanks for joining us out there in Facebook land.
Toast.
Toast.
We're still on the air.
We're still on the air, and people still enjoy watching this crap. That's good urinal water, man. Thanks for getting that for us.
Well, only the best for you.
Thank you. So, what are we going to do tonight, Patrick?
I believe we are going to look over some crazy news headlines you found.
Some crazy new headlines, yep.
And then we are going to learn a little bit, hopefully. And then we are going to... Oh, the best part. So, recently, for Just Desserts, I have been doing my part to eat the nastiest stuff ever. But, I mean, every so often we had something good.
Yeah, so you brought dessert tonight.
So, tonight for Just Desserts, I brought dessert, and you're going to love it. Because my wife made it, and it is delicious.
Does it have any vegetables in it?
It does not have any vegetables.
Does it have any nuts in it?
Because she's not a crazy person.
Yikes. Kathy is watching.
Yes, I know. I've already talked to her about this.
You have talked to her today about this?
I taught a lesson for the kids and to make up for, bad sugar
Oh, wait. You did what?
for carrot cake.
So in sickness. Let's see here. I don't know if what they. Can Facebook Lane hear us?
Oh, don't pay no attention to them.
Okay, fine. I ain't paying attention to you people. Quit it, Karen.
You are going to have to sleep in my house
I'm
tonight.
gonna have to sleep on your couch tonight.
But
Anyway,
yes, for Just Desserts, great surprise. I won't spoil it any further, but you're going to love it because it's good dessert. So,
good.
but first, I believe you have scoured the news networks and their trustworthiness.
I have found some recent and some old headlines. So right now, the world as we know it is just a crazy place to be in right
Has
now.
it ever not been a crazy place to be?
So I found some non-COVID crazy headlines that we get to talk about tonight. So, Benjamin, if you could show us our first one.
Sure. Tonight in headlines, we have China may be using sea to hide its submarines.
This,
That's a news headline?
these are real news headlines.
In
I
other
wish I could make
words,
these up.
water's
What paper
wet.
is this?
I have no clue what paper it is.
National Enquirer?
But it's definitely a low budget
China may be using C.
to hide its
At
submarines.
least they used the right C, C-E-S-E-A.
Yes.
Hide its
Anyways,
submarines.
next.
Well, this one's about Matt.
That was a good one
What?
to start.
What?
Mississippi's literacy program shows
improvement.
improvement.
It says I.
But
Why does it have anything to do with me, Benjamin?
It's not even one letter. That's like half the state is gone.
Mississippi.
so
Mississippi's literacy program shows that improvement is more letters than Mississippi, and they didn't get that right.
I'm not from
wrong.
Mississippi. I'm from Kentucky.
Oh, man.
it shows.
Next one.
You shouldn't have turned Ben's mic on. He's going to ruin you.
Yeah, well, he does. Yeah.
Bugs flying around with wings are flying bugs.
In case you didn't know, lightning bugs are flying insects because they have what? Wings.
Do they... But they don't have lightning, though.
No, they don't have lightning.
Their butts just glow up.
Their butts just glow. Okay. Yes.
What's next?
Diana was still alive hours before she died.
Oh, man, that's terrible. That is terrible. There are allies, right?
Maybe.
But, I mean, come on. That is just, duh. That's like saying
Before
Elvis
she
was
died.
still alive hours before
Elvis
he
is
was still alive.
Okay?
Wait, what?
He's out there. I'm
Elvis is
telling
still
you.
alive?
You don't
Vegas.
see it every time you go to Vegas. You see Elvis. He's there.
So is Celine
He
Dion.
looks pretty good for his age. I'm just saying.
I'm talking about a real Elvis, not this pseudo Elvis that we like.
Listen, rock and roll will never die.
Next.
Think of a headline, 56-point bold head. Oh, sorry, these are my notes.
Wow, they didn't even finish it, did they?
Yeah, no, I can't believe somebody actually published this.
Think of a headline.
Was this Mineral Evening News?
I think it is.
So that's like the.
Don't show too much. We'll have to, we only get 6 views a month.
Yeah.
Might get some free publicity. Next one.
Next one.
Statistics show that teen pregnancy drops off significantly after age 25. Could be 19 as well, but who knows?
Terrible. That's terrible.
Well, I mean,
25. Oh.
Apparently.
People want to stay younger and younger longer nowadays, so.
Yeah, okay.
Just saying.
I just turned 25 teen.
You can stay on your parents' terms. You're 26 now.
Yeah.
Woo!
Maybe that's what this means. Okay, next one.
One-armed man applauds the kindness of strangers. Harrison Ford nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he hits his shoulder.
Next
Congrats.
No.
Next one.
Federal agents raid gun shop. Guess what? Find weapons.
Duh!
Store owner arrested previously. Okay, was he arrested at a prior time or previously right before they went into the thing? Like he wasn't even there.
Like 10
because
minutes
he's already
ago.
in jail.
Yeah.
Cops
Because
raid
with
donut
this
shop,
newspaper,
find
you have to
donuts.
question. Find weapons. Maybe they were expecting squirt guns or something.
There's people pulling in. Do we have a crowd happening here? I've seen multiple cars pull in.
Are the doors locked?
The doors are locked. All we need is a raid at the Matt and Pat show. Please storm and find 2 broke people.
Marijuana issue sent to a joint committee.
Hey, man.
Woo!
Send it to us, man. We'll talk about it, yeah.
Joint committee.
Wow, we are pushing the boundaries today, aren't we? Next one.
Homeless survive winter. Now what?
Ouch. Where's this? The Sacramento?
That's it. I'm never going to Sacramento, ever. It's off the bucket list.
I have been to Sacramento a few times. There's nothing there.
There's nothing in Sacramento.
No, there's nothing in Sacramento.
Did you go to a Kings game at least?
No?
You know what sport that is?
No?
Hockey.
Sacramento Kings, there's a basketball team in Sacramento.
Oh, basketball. Okay, it's the one
Did
with
you
the one with the innings.
Did you know that Sacramento, I'm ignoring you right now.
No.
Did you know that Sacramento is the capital of California? Did you know that?
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's the capital of California.
Sacramento is the capital of California.
Look it up.
I have been to Sacramento. It's not. Sorry, people who are from. Listen, no one's from Sacramento is watching us.
No.
But if they were, I am so sorry.
It's like noon there, so.
It's like noon there, yes, but it's it's a nice city. It's clean, but there's no one there. All right, next one.
This is the capital. Look it up.
Homicide victims rarely talk to police.
I would certainly hope. No. Why? I don't. The people actually have typed these in. I don't get it.
Well, when they asked for a quote, but none was available.
Oh, wow. Wait, what?
Yep. That's my best.
That's like when my
I
dog
can't
bites
feign a stroke well enough in order to do this one.
Look at the guy in the picture's even mad about it.
He's just
Right?
all this was supposed to be a small, article about my lost dog, and someone got totally upset and.
SP. Oh, latest. Okay. Next one.
Next
Next one.
Next one.
Yellow object spotted in sky.
Also known as the sun. Well, golly gee, did you look that thing up in the sky? I can't believe what's going on. What is that?
Let me ask you this, right? You can't look at the sun.
No.
So how do you know it's yellow? Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
When a ray of sunshine comes through your house, isn't it slightly yellow?
How does it get through the house? There's walls.
A window?
How does it get through the window? Is a window?
Next one.
Students cook and serve grandparents. It's like Soylent Green, the home game.
There's a denture in mine.
Somebody.
It's like a whole new meaning to find a hair in your soup.
I had something, but I'm just done now. So. Next one.
Tetanus shot served next week. Scientists to kill ducks to see why they're dying.
This one quacks me up.
Okay. See, now you just ruined it. It was funny, and now it's gone.
That was
It's
good.
just terrible.
It was good.
It's just terrible.
I'm sorry to our 7 viewers.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, next one.
Wax me up.
Woman missing since she got lost.
What, you got nothing for that? You had quacks at the last one.
What, you
nothing
got
for
one? Let's hear you say
No,
something about
you're
it.
the funny one here. I don't have
I'm
anything.
the funny looking one. Remember, this face is for radio. Here we are on national Facebook television.
Woman missing since she got lost.
She didn't, you know what happened? She didn't just, own up and go, go over to that gas station and ask for directions.
Or just use the GPS on her smartphone.
Maybe she wasn't smart.
Next one.
Most earthquake damage is caused by shaking.
The intensity of shaking that a building or structure will experience during an earthquake is highly variable, but generally depends on 3 main factors. Oh, I thought there'd be more interesting stuff in that. That's actually all accurate.
No.
I assume that if the earthquake was happening, things would be shaking.
You've been into California several times. Have you ever been there for an earthquake?
We have an audience.
Yeah, there's homeless people outside.
I'm sorry, I got to go back for a second because on the last one,
Yes.
the woman who was missing since she's lost, Bradley chimed in with, they found her in the last place they looked. Accurate.
It's kind of funny. Come on.
It's always a cornet. It's always.
He's
a
the complete package. Brains, beauty, the whole deal.
He doesn't need your help.
And he's funny. Have you ever been in California during an earthquake? Have you ever experienced? I've never experienced an earthquake. Is it terrifying?
No.
Is it nothing?
I was in San Francisco when there was like a tremor.
Okay.
I honestly thought it was just a semi that just drove too close to like the hotel. You know, if a train goes by, you kind of feel like you know what I mean?
Yes.
You've been in a house or a building when there's been like a large truck that went by and you just feel slight movement and that's it.
Yes.
That's what it felt like. I didn't even know. I didn't even bat an eye. Everyone else was like.
So you were like a pro Californian, even though you're from
No,
Michigan.
I didn't even know it happened until later that afternoon when it was like everyone was talking about it. So.
Like I wouldn't even know. Like, what do you do during an earthquake?
I think Becky.
You
No,
can't,
it was
like,
the day before Becky came out.
You can't like run. Like I'm gonna go
Listen,
drive away.
I would have been more alarmed if my glass of water was like doing the whole Jurassic Park thing, but no, it was just like it didn't faze me. Probably because I'm a pro at being Michigan, and I stand and watch or sit in my car watching multiple trains go by just to get across town. You feel that rumble, it doesn't faze you. So,
Are you saying we have a lot of trains in Michigan?
yeah, where are you from?
Michigan?
You have to cross 9 tracks just to get to Kroger.
Well, that's.
Anyway,
I feel like
and in the same time,
I
you
feel
pass
like you have
9
some vendetta against trains or something, and I'm missing
No,
it. Who doesn't like trains?
Oh my goodness! Next
Choo-choos?
one.
State population to double by 2040, babies to blame.
I don't think babies are to blame.
They're the worst, Double in population. Where they get off doing that?
I think it's got to be like something with the parents, something in the water, creating babies.
Coronials.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Corona babies? Oh, what was that joke? 18 years from now, we're gonna have
13.
13 years from now,
Yeah, they'll be coronials, man.
Quarantines.
quarantines.
Yeah.
I like that one. No, everyone's watching, going, "Why did we tune into this? This is the worst show they've done yet." Go ahead, next one.
I think of that every week. Prisoner serving 2,000-year sentence could face more time. Sucks to be him.
I love these arbitrary, sometimes they'll do this. They'll give somebody 4 life sentences. What are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. Just say life without parole. Boom, done.
No, you got to serve 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
What if the guy's secretly
Now, what happens if he dies in prison? Do they keep his body in there for 1,900 years until he finishes?
Well, thankfully,
his
we
term?
don't live in a society where it's passed on to the next generation, and your kid has to serve the rest of the time. That's a thing in some places.
It's a thing.
Well, it has been in the past, yeah. You had to serve
It has
time
been in
for
the past, but everyone served their time. Next one.
Next one.
Miracle cure kills 5th patient. It's working.
Miracle cure kills 5th patient.
I don't think it's a miracle cure.
So was it intended to kill them, or
is it like
Well, if it was very successful.
Like, was the actual disease like inhibiting
I don't
their
understand.
death?
Next one.
Man found dead in graveyard.
Isn't there multiple dead men in a graveyard? I heard they're all dying to get in.
Do you know the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery, Matt?
I don't know this, no.
A graveyard is attached to a church. Cemetery is freestanding.
Now you know.
You know where the term graveyard shift came from?
Enlighten me.
So back in the day, people were worried because medicine was not what it is now. That some people...
I don't even think they called it medicine.
What's that?
I don't think they called it medicine.
Well, hokum, voodoo stuff,
Okay.
wasn't what it is now. And sometimes somebody could be pronounced dead when really they were just in a coma or something. So people were terrified of being buried alive. So you could actually have it so that if you were buried, you could attach to yourself somewhere a string that would run up to a bell that stood above ground from where you were buried.
Okay.
And they would actually pay somebody to walk the graveyard at night and listen for any bells that went off. So
What do you do if a bell did ring? And then hurried up and dug them up?
Well, yeah. You
And
never
then
leave
found
them
out,
down there
oh, it was just the wind that rang the bell?
after life tremors or something. I don't know. But that's where the graveyard shift came
Yeah.
from.
What happens if the graveyard shifts in Sacramento? And there's a tremor. All of the bells ring.
At least they'd be close to state documentation. Since it's the capital,
You know, every week we sit here and we put some stuff together and we just don't really know where this train wreck's going to go.
Evening Standard.
A graveyard?
Evening.
Man
You're
found dead in
welcome.
graveyard. Evening Standard. Oh, that's probably some like newspaper jargon, right?
Next one.
This is because it's newspapers. We don't really know what those are. Do we?
Rooms with broken air conditioners are hot.
We just the next one.
Greenland meteorite may be from space.
Greenland meteor. Maybe from
Isn't the
space.
very definition of meteorite like an object that fell from space?
Greenland meteorite, maybe from space. Maybe the meteorite's shaped like Greenland, and they're just reaffirming that yes, this is indeed from space.
Yes, this is indeed
Hopefully it's
from
not the size
space.
of
We
Greenland.
watched it fall, land on the ground in Greenland, and we decided, it came from space.
Greenland's actually just a big giant island that's covered in ice.
And
It's not very
Iceland
green.
is a
small island
that's covered in green
that people
stuff.
live there. Greenland's actually owned by Denmark. Did you
my
know?
understanding. No.
Yeah.
My understanding it was the Vikings that
Pretty
made
sure.
this name change to confuse people.
Really?
It's like the longest running joke.
And what? Did they do it on purpose?
I don't know.
Maybe they're just mad because nobody
Listen, the
gives them
people
credit.
who watch the show are going to fact check us anyway.
They're
Let us
mad.
know why Greenland's called Greenland and Iceland's called Iceland. I think it has something to do with the Vikings.
They're mad because nobody gives them credit for discovering America. That just goes straight to Columbus, even though they were here way earlier.
How about the Native Americans who lived here well before anyone?
Okay, credit for you can't discover something if you're already there. Like somebody from the Eastern Hemisphere discovering the Western Hemisphere.
That's like
How do you go up? How do you like show up and go, oh, I've discovered this land and there's natives that live here. I mean, no, like we've been living here for eons. You just showed up unannounced.
Well, yeah, that's why they're called natives. They're native to the land.
So how do you discover it?
That's
It'd be like discovering Hawaii. No one lived there.
It's discovered because you've never been there, so you've discovered it for the first time.
Oh, well, actually,
They're natives because they live there. It's their native land, but you're discovering
so
it.
if I discover it, it's the discovery. So
Like if you came to my house for the first time, technically speaking, you've discovered my house.
I can plant
But
my flag.
I'm native.
This is my living room.
I'm native to my house though because it's where I live.
The natives are angry because I planted my flag in their living room. Off with their heads.
Well,
Next.
I'm supposed to like welcome you as like a higher power and give
Oh.
you feasts and stuff, right?
Fantastic. I cannot wait that we like recreate this later. We go to your house and you're like, welcome to my land. No, I've discovered it's my land.
It's mine now.
Okay. Is there
That-
any
does
more?
that-
Oh, there's a few more, yeah.
Okay.
I do feel bad for this one. I think this is the guy that was serving a 2,000-year prison sentence because man arrested for everything.
That's the problem. The man is responsible for everything, according if you ask the latest woman.
Well,
He did it. It's all his fault.
well,
Police report.
doesn't everything have a different definition depending on what state you live in? Like some states have more laws than others. And in some states, something's illegal, and it's not in another state.
Vicky Cornett is asking, are these for real? Yes, they're for real. That's why they're on.
Somebody even highlighted it.
Yes. Look.
Emphasis.
And if it wasn't real, we did a really good job getting that like newspaper feeling in the back. You know, that textured look, paper stuff.
No, I don't know. It's newspapers.
Yes, it's a thing that apparently.
Straight to the comics for me.
It's like, okay, a newspaper is like a comic, but no pictures.
No. Straight to the comics in the newspapers.
Ah, okay.
Like, yes, I read comic books, but or I used to. Now it's straight to the comics.
Oh man, go to the next one. I can't believe people's watched this for the last 25 minutes. Talking
Bridges help people cross rivers.
Well, no crap.
Yep.
You could always ford it. Remember the Oregon Trail? You used to ford your wagon across?
No, I always
And
died
you
of dysentery.
You always prayed that it wouldn't topple over.
And who's this Terry that it keep dissing?
I always hated that you lost half your load anytime it toppled. Well, how long are you leaving it topsized? Flip it up and pick up your stuff. Why am I losing 60 pounds of meat from toppling into a river that's 2 feet deep?
What I don't understand is that there's a couple times I've played and you get 680 pounds of meat or beef or whatever,
680.
and you take it with you and it survives the whole way. How is that possible?
You salt it. Salt the dickens out of it. Just salt.
Rip the flesh, salt the wound.
Salt.
Borderlands. Anyways, moving on.
This was my favorite. Barbershop singers bring joy to school for deaf.
What?
Well, did they sign it? You can sing while signing. Maybe they did that.
I don't. These.
No, wait, barbershop. Okay, so explain this to me. Barbershop singers.
Yes.
Is that like a barbershop quartet? Because there's more than 4 guys there.
Yeah, that's like.
Why is it called a barbershop
septuplets.
quartet?
The barbershop septuplets.
Why is it called a barbershop quartet? Did people used to sing exclusively in barbershops?
I can tell you what, if I
Did
went to a
barbers
barbershop.
used to moonlight as singers? When the haircut industry was down or something?
Have you never seen Sweetie Todd?
Maybe in the summertime, because your hair doesn't grow as fast. I've been
Is that
told.
what we've been doing
Your
wrong?
hair
this
doesn't
quarantine?
grow as fast in the summer?
Yeah, I thought it grows faster in the winter. Somebody told me that.
Who told
Somebody
you that?
check it. We have people for this, right?
Yeah, we got people.
It's in the budget.
They're on.
Why is it called a barbershop quartet? Figure that one out. Is that the last one? Oh. Daily
Man
Sun.
kills himself and runs away.
Well, he didn't do a very good job with the first one if he's running away.
I don't think he did it. Actually,
He's being framed for his own attempt.
It wasn't him, it was the one-armed hand.
How are you framed? How do you frame someone for killing themselves? Okay, I get that it's suicide, but it doesn't make. Next one.
This is my kind of math. We hate math, say 4 in 10, a majority of Americans.
Brad's mind is just going.
Majority of Americans.
No,
Where's this
Brad's
from?
mind is like, no,
Washington?
Ben's right. That is his kind of math.
People in the country have a love-hate relationship with math, a favorite school subject for some, but just a bad memory for many others, especially women. Well, that's not fair. You can't say women are bad at math.
I'm sorry, this is from an AP AOL news poll. So let's take it back a few hundred years when AOL was still a thing.
You've got mail.
Wow. Majority of Americans. Well, I am one of those majorities.
You don't like math?
No, that's what you got machines for, and people like you and Ben.
No. I am not on the finance team. Trust me. That we have many people like Bradley and his love for calculators. So no
Well, he's
math
just
for me.
amazing.
Is that all of them?
No, you got 2 more.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry,
Rapid
folks.
fire. Rapid
A
fire.
nuclear explosion would be a disaster.
That is a statement of truth in a newspaper.
Well, I set the place off. The whole went. Next.
And finally, World Bank says poor need more money.
So give it out.
Rich nations called to
Called
task for crisis. Or handout. And
More
there you
people
go.
need money. You learned something.
That's the news. I'm your anchor, Keith My Butt. Thanks for joining.
Wait, what?
I told you shouldn't turn his mic on.
Regrets were
Who
made.
gave him a microphone in the first place?
Hey, it's a
You're in
good thing
charge
I'm
of this.
sitting down
That's
or
why
this
Matt
show would
comes
be
first.
canceled. So we're good.
That's why Matt comes first, because you're in charge. So that was our crazy news. Did you play the slide?
Oh no.
That Ashley
Yes.
put in that work to make
She
it.
did, and she got. Here we
And
go.
you didn't even do it.
Well, because we got distracted. So here you go.
Crazy news.
The crazy news.
Which we already did.
We did. But you know what? We can end it on the crazy news and go to our favorite episode, or favorite part of our episode, which is...
Bits of the Bible.
Bits of the Bible. Well, I guess I have to hit the right...
That's the wrong camera.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. Bits of the Bible.
Bits of the Bible. There you go. I'm happy. You're happy. Everyone's happy. We're just not on game today, are we?
That's okay.
I'm happy.
Converse to verse. Another viewer suggestion.
Is another viewer suggestion? Well,
Yes.
fantastic. And we'll have to give them a T-shirt.
Yes,
We'll have
because
to talk about T-shirts later.
if you send in a verse, as we've established, you get a T-shirt.
You get a T-shirt.
I don't think I was on the camera there, but anyways, Mark chapter 15, verses 34 through 36. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. Which
I'm
means,
sorry, wait, what?
Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani.
The last time I heard that type of language, I was in Hawaii. So you want to break that down for us?
Was there like a ukulele playing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and someone singing.
Yes,
Over
we'll
the
break that
Rainbow.
down,
Okay.
but that's later.
Okay.
That's why the breakdown's at the bottom.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's
Please
okay.
teach us,
Mark
teacher
tells
one.
you what it means right here, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? And some of the bystanders, hearing it, said, Behold, he is calling Elijah. And someone ran and filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on a reed, and gave it to him to drink, saying, Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down. So this verse, or there's like a couple verses, but this was the request, so we did all of them, is different than what we've done so far. This is a third-person narration verse, right? So when you read the Bible, there's three main types of verses. The third-person narration, which is where someone is telling you what's happening, like Exodus. Moses did this. Moses did that. Jesus did this. The Gospels. Jesus did that, right? First-person narration, which is like a letter. Paul's telling you something. John's telling you something. Peter's telling you something, something like that. And because verses are so broken, or because Scripture's been so broken down into verses, there are even whole verses that's just quotations. So it's literally just somebody speaking something. It's being recorded of what they said. So there's three types of verses you'll see in Scripture: third-person narration, first-person narration, and quotation. This is an example of a third-person narration because Mark is telling you what Jesus said and what others said, but it also contains quotations, like what they actually said and what it entails. So you can also read about what happens here in Matthew 27, 46 through 49. That makes sense because Matthew got a lot of his material from Mark. Mark was the first gospel written, so it makes sense that they would share.
Matt stole some of Mark's gospel.
Not stole, he was a source he used, so
All right.
he wasn't the only one.
All right.
Both Matthew and Luke used Mark as a source because Mark was written first. So now we go to the breakdown. And you'll see that right here, and at the 9th hour. You got to think of the 9th hour as like 3 p.m. 1500 for you military folks. That's the 9th hour.
Mr. Bill Cornett will enjoy that you said that.
There you go. At the 9th hour, 3 p.m., Jesus cried. We go right here to cried with a loud voice. This is important because it shows Jesus in his mental state, where he's at. He's crying with a loud voice. He's scared. He's in desperation. He's about to die. And that's big because it shows his humanity. It shows a side of him that we can relate to. Because when you're ever in a desperate situation, when you're ever suffering, you can take solace in the fact of knowing that your Lord and Savior suffered as well. And his humanity really shows in this because he's crying with a loud voice. He's scared. He doesn't know what's going to happen. Well, he knows what's going to happen, but like he still is, human, and so he doesn't necessarily want to accept what's going to happen. So I think that's really cool. It kind of sheds some light on his humanity there. So now we go to what you were asking earlier. Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. This is a phrase
Which is not Hawaiian.
No, this is a phrase in Aramaic, which was a common language back then.
Okay.
And what Jesus is saying is he's quoting Psalm 22, basically. Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? That's the first verse in Psalm 22, which is a Psalm of David. So he's quoting Psalm 22 when he's saying this. Now, what's happening here? Jesus is on the cross. He's about to die. Now, remember, Jesus is a part of the Godhead. He is the Son of the Holy Trinity, which means he's been in an eternal, loving, communal relationship with God the Father and the Holy Spirit for all of eternity. They've always been together, right? Well, now Jesus has taken on the sin of the world at this moment in his death because of penal substitution and, the whole substitutionary atonement. The basis, the premise of the crucifixion, right? So my sin, your sin, sin of people at this time, the sin of people 100 years from now. Jesus has taken that upon himself. And what that has done is it's broken, not necessarily broken, but it's separated Jesus from that sort of relationship to God and to the Holy Spirit. So he feels isolated for the first time ever. So now he's looking up saying, why have you forsaken me? Because he feels that separation now. And our sin did that to him. And he chose to do this. But that's why he's saying this. He's saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? Because he feels apart from them for the first time. Because that's what our sin has done. Now he overcomes this, obviously. But in this moment, he takes on that sin, and this, or that essence, that sinful nature, because God is perfectly holy, he can't be around it, he can't be near it, causes a wall to come between them. And that's the same sort of thing that comes between people and God at the same time. That's what people need Jesus for, is to break down that wall, break down that barrier. Because he takes it upon himself, and he did here. But that's why he's looking up and he's saying, why have you forsaken me? So that's why he says that, man. And then we go to right here, which means. So Mark does it for you. He translates this phrase for us. So this shows that Mark was not expecting all his readers to have an understanding of Aramaic, which means because these words right here, like at the ninth hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, the whole rest of this verse is written in Greek, like the rest of the New Testament. Everything except that phrase is written in Greek. So he is translating for you because there's an expectation that people who don't understand Aramaic, so people outside of that necessarily culture, are going to read this gospel, which is really cool because he's expecting the gospel to go far and to go to people who may not necessarily understand Aramaic. He's intending for non-Aramaic speaking people to read it. So that's why he translates it for you.
Thank you, Mark, because...
Yeah, that was really nice of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So then we go to right here. Behold, he is calling Elijah. So what happened here is that we're going to go to the pen for this, or should I say marker? Marker, pen. Okay, so Jesus says this. He says, Eloi, or if you read it in Matthew, it's spelled like this. It's spelled like Eli, but it's not pronounced that. This is almost the Hebrew way of saying God. This is almost the Aramaic way of saying God. They're very close, right? These two right here sound very similar to how you say, make sure I get the spelling right. Then we got a Y-A.
This is coming back to my flashbacks to me not being able to spell worth crap.
H-A, right here. So this is the Aramaic, this is how you say Elijah. Or so the beginning of that is very similar, as you can see. It's basically the same thing. So people misunderstood him. They thought he was saying Elijah. They thought he was crying for him. That's why they're like, behold, he's calling Elijah. There's not really, as far as I'm concerned, any sort of deep meaning there. They just...
Yes, we'll wait for Elijah. He's calling out for Elijah.
They just misheard him. Well, you know what this does, though? Behold, he is calling Elijah. It's a very minute detail, and it seems almost out of place in this sort of narrative, but that adds authenticity to this. It adds authenticity to this because you wouldn't include something like that unless it actually happened. There's no greater gain to be had from that, from Jesus being misunderstood.
Instill if you're writing this and trying to confuse
Right. If you were making this up, you would probably write it so that Jesus was speaking perfectly clear and he was dishing out all this profound knowledge at the last moment of his life. But instead, he's crying out to God, and people can't even understand him, probably because he's so close to death. They think he's saying Elijah. There's really no reason to add that detail unless it actually happened. And that's just kind of cool because it adds authenticity to the narrative, which we like because it makes it more likely that this stuff actually happened. So, and then after that we go to, all the way here, they filled a sponge with sour wine. So this was a wine that was watered, it was watered down because that was the Greek tradition at the time, and this is a Greek culture when this is happening. But it's also mixed with vinegar. It's very sour. It's almost like a paste. And this was a common wine that was drank by, poor people, soldiers in the barracks, because it was cheap, it was easy to make, and it was very plentiful. So therefore you could give it.
And it didn't spoil.
Right, it didn't necessarily spoil. And it was watered down enough that you couldn't really, you'd had to drink gallons of the stuff to even feel anything. But at the same time, there was enough alcohol in it to kill the bacteria in the water. Because remember, you're just pulling this out of a creek somewhere.
Well, so vinegars. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. And the vinegar just gave it some flavor and had some taste, and the vinegar killed some of the bacteria as well. So that's what they gave him. And basically what they're doing here is he's thirsty, they can't understand him, so they give him some wine. They did this to other people they're crucifying. It's just to prolong the suffering. You give them something, to quench their thirst, and then they go on suffering a little more. So, and then right here at the end, let us see whether Elijah will come. This is back to the misunderstanding. They think he's asking for Elijah, but this is a little nod to the fact that Elijah will come to take him down. Remember, Elijah never died. He went straight to heaven. He's the only one in the Old Testament to do that besides Enoch. So they're thinking that Elijah's going to come straight down and come get him because they think that he's calling to Elijah. So that right there is kind of the
It's
break.
almost like they were making fun of him.
Yeah. Well, they think he's just a common criminal and he's being crucified, and they're like, well, where's your king now? Why isn't he saving you and all this stuff? So that's a breakdown. Mark 15, this is right at the end of Jesus' life. Literally the next verse, it talks about how he gives up his spirit, and he's pretty much gone after that. Like I said, this is in Matthew. If you read Luke and John, it doesn't have these exact quotations, but it talks about how Luke goes into more detail about the two thieves with him, obviously. John talks about how he looks down at his mom and he tells John to take care of her, stuff like that. So it's in Mark and it's in Matthew, but that's a breakdown of Mark 15, 34 to 36. Some cool stuff going on there. You get a little Aramaic in there, so there's a breakdown for you. Our first sort of just general narration verse for Converse the Verse. So hopefully that was...
Well, thank you, viewer, who
good.
submitted that. And they're going to get a T-shirt, I hope?
Yeah, we're going to get them a T-shirt because if you submit a verse, either on any of our Facebook pages or if you have my number, you can just text it to me, call me. If you submit a verse, we'll break it down, we'll cover some good stuff, and I don't want to say it's the best part, but it's a good part.
It's a good part.
You get a free T-shirt.
Speaking of T-shirts, did you get a chance to get your size into us? We have T-shirts for sale.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, you gotta get yourself lined up. Here you go. It's so much fun. Here we go. Bam! You can be like Patrick right here.
Look at that.
He's in his nice Madden Pat T-shirt. We have them for $15.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Isn't it handsome on you?
Well, thank you, man.
I love the
It's
fact
the black. It's because it's black.
it's black.
Yeah.
We would have had T-shirts here if the men in brown didn't screw up.
You want to rephrase that, my friend? Because I know exactly what happened, and I will tell you. And because I love you, I'm going to tell the viewers exactly what happened as well.
Tell them, it's funny.
You sent me a text yesterday.
Yes.
Or you called me. And you're like, whoa, dude, explain this to me. I got this weird thing. I tracked my package online.
Yeah.
And it says something about my address, blah, blah, blah. I really think they're just being dumb and trying to steal it.
I didn't say anything like that. I was just like, hey, my favorite man in brown.
It says, basically what happened was, when I looked at it, your address got changed, okay?
Yes.
So I looked at the tracking number, I saw that, I called, I don't know if I told you this, but as soon as I saw that, I had a suspicion of what happened. Because I think I knew what happened from the beginning.
Yes, you
but
told me
I wanted
this.
to verify it.
Yes.
So I called the place where I called my work, and the package was there. And what happened was a couple weeks ago when we ordered the T-shirts, you were sitting at that computer, and I was standing behind you, and you're typing in your address. Do you want me to tell your address on air? Do you care?
No, they don't know what street. Go for it.
Okay. You typed in 3350 when, I hate to tell you, but your address is actually 3352.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So you typed the wrong address of your own house.
And you didn't stop me. Why?
Because I was like, I don't want to be a jerk and correct you on your own address to your own house and be like,
I don't think
Matt,
that's what happened.
Don't you live at 3352? Why are you typing 3350? So I'm
our
like,
T-shirt people got it wrong.
it's fine. So, but it turns out I was right. That's what happened. So what happened was the driver got there, saw there's no 3350, he probably thought, what a moron, who types their own? I'm just kidding, he didn't think that.
Every week, it never fails.
They saw there's no 3350, so
Wait, was you the driver that day?
No, it wasn't me. So they took it back to the center and it got edge corrected, so T-shirts are coming soon.
Monday, they'll be here Monday.
That's what happened though. My friend Matt, You were so excited to buy them. That's why you're all like, you type so fast, and then you hit backspace so many times because you screw up when you type. It's just fun to watch. You're just like, it's like, just slow down, man. You'll save so much time. Oh, that was funny. That was good. Thank you for that. I needed that. Thank you.
What time is it, Patrick?
It is time for Just Desserts, my friend. The best part of the program, some would say.
Yeah.
Okay. All
right.
You're gonna love this, right?
What did you bring us?
So I
You
brought
brought us what you call considered a proper dessert.
proper dessert. This is made by my beautiful wife, who puts a lot of TLC into this, and she tailor makes.
She puts TLC in there? Does
Tender
it start
loving
singing?
care.
Like, don't go chasing. Okay, go ahead.
That's a 90s reference.
Yeah.
You would get that because you're older than me. I was still a young, wee little guy. So, TLC for tender loving care.
Oh.
She tailor makes her desserts just for me. This is a Reese's Oreo no bake cheesecake pie.
So she
I call
made
it
you something
cheesecake
that
pie.
doesn't require bakage.
Right, you don't bake it. You just mix it all together and you throw it into a.
Can we look at that? Look at that. Oh man.
So this is and it's topped
It's got
with whipped
Reese's?
topping. So it's it's on a pie crust. The filling is cream cheese, whipped topping, peanut butter, and brown sugar.
I guess you're gonna have to dish this out with a fork because we didn't bring a knife.
I looked for any. There wasn't any. It's topped with whipped topping and crushed or broken up Reese's Pieces and Oreos.
So, what is the filling made out of again? The interior, like
Brown sugar,
Yes.
cream cheese,
cream cheese.
whipped topping, and peanut butter.
Why is it every dessert has a brick of cream cheese in it?
What's wrong with cream cheese in dessert?
I don't have a problem with cream cheese in dessert, but it seems like every recipe you see plastered on
How big
Facebook
a
or
piece do you
online.
want?
I mean, I'll take a normal sized piece.
Well, that's a relative term.
I'll take a small piece.
Okay.
Every recipe online has a brick of cream cheese. It doesn't matter what it is, dessert to something savory like mashed potatoes or
There you go.
whatever.
I'm
So,
gonna use your.
I have-
Oh, never mind.
I can use the fork.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna wait for you,
Okay. Good.
and our viewers can be jealous.
Now, before anyone yells at us,
Aw.
we were gonna give this to Ben, but he chose not to partake.
Yeah,
in
he
this
didn't wanna
dessert.
partake
So we
in it.
thought of him this time.
So we got a bag of cookies. Did you get your cookies?
Yeah, I have cookies with TLC in them, not THC.
Listen, there was a unnamed
Oh.
apartment complex we used to live in as kids, and it had a big sign that says, "We love our people with TLC," and I'm like, ticks, lice, and cockroaches.
Well, they didn't have a name for the apartment complex, so it probably wasn't shaping up to be too well.
Well, there was a name. I was just being nice. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm going to try this. This looks like it's going
Make sure
to
you get
kill
some
me.
crust and some
Get
whipped
some
topping
crust.
in the bite. Dude, that's just home cooked loving right there.
Ashley
Wow.
Cornett is wondering if this fits your rules for desserts.
Yes, as you'll notice, there is no vegetables in this,
No.
no fruit, and no nuts.
Is there anything else but piles of sugar?
It's dessert. Is there anything else in dessert but sugar?
Wow. I literally can. Yep, I can feel my molars rotting in my head.
So good.
Wow.
That's good, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's good, but I can just feel my blood sugar
I feel like
rising.
I feel like you're not liking it. I feel like you're not liking it. Are you not liking it?
I love everything the Ashleys make.
You can be honest. It's okay.
They're so sweet.
Yeah, that's why it's good, man.
Oh man,
Are you convulsing?
it is just
Are you
like
okay?
my body is like, wow, what did you just eat? A bucket of sugar?
It's so good.
Whoa.
The soft filling, the whipped topping.
You know the
the
girls
crunch
are
of the
screaming
crust.
at the screen right now, going, "Well, they already had their pie. I guarantee it. They broke into that thing long ago."
There's a separate pie for them. This is true.
Yeah, there's two pies.
We're gonna get in trouble. Hey, I noticed you're not eating your piece. Are you sure?
Listen, I have to talk to the viewers, okay? You're just
talk with
munching
food-
away.
Just talk with food in your mouth. Like that.
I'm just going to tell you that
It's so good.
it's okay, man. It's all right. It's I don't want to eat anymore.
I hate you so much.
It is by far the sweetest thing.
You're saying that like that's a bad thing. Like, I don't want. Are you one of those people that says something can be too sweet?
Yes.
What does that mean?
This is
Can
too
you
sweet.
define that for me and then give examples?
Yes. I'm going to put this in my mouth, and I will show you the example.
How can something be too sweet?
Wow. It is making every saliva gland in my mouth just pulsate, trying to figure out where the bucket of sugar came from.
You know what's funny? Mm-hmm. She puts less sugar in it now than when she first made it.
I appreciate the dessert.
Yeah, and this is with a pie crust. Sometimes she makes her own crust, and it's just way better.
This is
But
good.
she didn't have time to.
My favorite parts is the Reese Pieces. I like those.
You still haven't answered the question. How can something be?
What is that noise?
Too
What
sweet.
is happening
Is there a mouse in
outside?
here? In fact, there's a mouse in here.
I think there's fireworks going on.
Is there
Is
fireworks?
there fireworks right now?
Yeah, I've recently realized I've become that old fart that really hates fireworks.
Every week there's something going on over here.
There's a party at Pat yourself.
Wait, they're not watching the Matt and Pat show? And then waiting after the Matt and Pat show for the party?
They're boycotting it because you said something's too sweet.
Whoa,
They
wow.
don't understand what that means.
Oh, okay.
Like, can the weather be too nice? Like, I don't understand.
Wow.
Can
I can't even see the screen because
well, it starts affecting your eyes now?
yes, Patrick, it's affecting my eyes. Wow. Okay. Anyways,
I'm starting to worry about you. Like, have I killed you just now?
it's sweet. Hey, that's our show. Thanks for watching.
This is so good. You don't want to admit it.
I'm Matt,
I'm Pat,
and this has been the Matt and Pat show.
and this is delicious.
See ya. Wow, this is so sweet.
You'll have it.
It is like I can feel it clogging my arteries from all of the cream cheese.
The cream cheese is what's doing it.